I guess since the late 80s,
Yeah.
that we began talking about the various gender-based discriminatory practices on our campuses or workplaces. The stories were heartbreaking.
Well, and my sense was this was the first time women in international relations, international studies had a chance to really talk about these questions.
That's
it was
right.
like cracking open an egg, you know, and
I've
something.
had trouble getting tenure. What was your experience?
Right.
Or letters of reference and recommendation.
Right.
Or job openings. I mean, it was.
Or student evaluations.
Yes. Yeah. How
Talking
do we
about how
deal
you
with
what
that?
you wear
Yeah.
instead of what you're teaching,
Yes.
right?
Or your voice. Your voice isn't, you know, authoritative or
Yeah.
junk stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
Chilly climate issues, work-life balance, all that.
And so for me, not only is pursuit and cultivation and support of diversity the right thing to do, it's also the intellectually challenging thing to do. Because that's where the good ideas are coming from. It's not from talking to and with people who are doing the same things as I do. It's about getting that cross-fertilization, talking about the ways you think about things, the way I think about things, the way 17 other people think about things. And it's only at that point that we get these really good ideas and start to think in ways that are productive and advancing knowledge and advancing scholarship and moving both, you know, intellectual and policy agendas forward. We're not going to do that if we're all listening to the same people all the time.
What are some of the conversations that we need to continue to have and have over and over again, because women are still facing many of the same issues that they have been facing, you know, for the last 20 years that the caucus has existed, but also to think about how has what women in the profession need changed as ISA becomes more globally inclusive, and as, you know, we have a much more diverse membership, both in terms of countries of origin, language, ethnicity, and all these other factors that come into play when we're thinking about how women are affected differently by the kind of practices of our professions, like both at the sort of their home institutions, but also within ISA.
I do think about it quite a bit as we talk about intersectionality in feminism. So I wonder whether there is any point to continue talking about the women's caucus because, well, there are more women in the field and the community itself is quite diverse now. At the same time, it seems that we're still dealing with some of the old-fashioned problems. For example, I, for one, don't see a lot of conversations among men when they're sitting at the bar at a conference wondering how to balance family life and work life. They may be doing it, I just haven't come across it. And yet it is something that at least we see coming up quite a bit in our conversations.
Now, some of the concerns that we can raise are more global, more inclusive of all different kinds of concerns. And so I think the caucus has continued to play a very important role in ISA.